Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today let's go ahead and fly the Cessna Citation Longitude once again. We are going to take off from Perth in Australia over to Mount Isa, both beautiful airports created or published by Orbx, so thank you very much to them for providing the airports for the purpose of today's flight. Now, I'd say, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it, as it is a little bit loud out here, and we are going to start with a walk around. So, remember, the Citation Longitude is a default aircraft in Flight Simulator 2024, and for that it really is a detailed one. I cannot overemphasize how much default aircraft have improved ever since FSX back in the day. And even those in FSX were already an improvement, but we still kept flying our 737s using a GNS 530 and a nav GPS switch on the MCP. So loads of changes over here, and if I'm comparing the time back then to what we've got with those aircraft right now, then I really just gotta say that this is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Alright, so over here everything is looking fantastic, so let's go ahead and close those panels again, just to look at the other side, make sure that I didn't accidentally open anything, but no, this is looking good. And then we can go ahead and head inside, have a look at our flight plan, and then get ready for today's 3-hour flight. So, open up that door please, and here we go. So, a very quick look through the cabin. We got 8 seats in our Citation Longitude, and we are just going through it from the back to the front, making sure that everything is nice and tidy for our guests to arrive in a few moments. Now, I absolutely love the modeling in this cabin. I mean, think about sitting here for like up to 7.5 hours. There could certainly be worse places to sit, huh? The only thing that I would love to see improved is these tables over here, which unfortunately are not foldable, so we just have to live with those tables being extended. But okay, for now let's take a seat in the captain's seat of our Cessna Citation, and then we can start by turning on some of our electronics over here. So batteries left and right are coming online. That's also bringing our screens to life. And once the screens are live, we can head down and into the checklist down here. So let's start with the cockpit preparation checklist. The pre-flight inspection is complete. The EIS and CAS are all checked over here. What does it say gear disagree? Who left that gear lever in the up position? Okay, here we go. So, EIS and CAS are checked. APU knob on, then start. So let's go ahead and do that. Then, external power is not used, engine dry motoring consider, that is considered, and then we can already go ahead and grab our ATIS and clearance. So for that, let's go ahead and bring up our charts on the right hand side there. I want to use Navigraph charts today, and then we can type in Yankee Papa Hotel Perth, which is where we are right now. Let's give it a moment to load its charts over here. Here we go. So, airport and airport info chart. Zoom that in for me, please. Here we go. ATIS 123.8. So 123.8. Let's switch that thing active. In the meantime, I will also quickly tune the other frequencies required. So 1215, delivery 118.55, which can go active. And ground, probably 121.7, we'll see about that. Alright, and Squawk 2000, as we will definitely be flying IFR today. Alright then, let's go ahead and listen to that ATIS and see what we are going to be up to today.
Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact, you have information Oscar.
So ATIS Oscar is on board.
Perth International Airport, information Oscar. 1830 Zulu. Arriving and departing runways 21, 24. Wind 200 at 8. Visibility 10. Sky conditions, no cloud detected. Temperature 20. Dew point 15. QNH 1007. Transition level 120. Runway edge lights are currently dim. Monitor visual cues. Advise on course heading. altitude, and if flight following is required.
Alright, while we're waiting for all the rest, APU generator is on, standby power is on, external power is on. And all that stuff is done. Information Oscar, runways are copied, so let's tune 1215 back active. And here we go. Okay, so then we can call for clearance, but before we do that, let's go ahead and have a look into our flight plan, so that you guys are aware of what we are going to be up to today. So, starting from Firefox down here, we are leaving Perth and then setting course more or less directly to Mount Isa. Now, the weather leaves us with a couple of CBs at our destination that we will have to take care of. And looking into the forecast, we have pretty much the same thing here. Our departure airport is very easy. Beautiful weather and QNH 1007, and for our destination, light showers of rain are forecast, and tempo until midnight. We got thunderstorms moving through, which is exactly what the significant weather chart had been showing already as well. For alternate accounts, it should be a little bit better over here. They are moving in a little bit later, but then again also coming in. So yeah, that's just what we gotta deal with today. Now, from here, let's go to the very top, and we are leaving at 0200, and then we're going to arrive 8 minutes behind schedule, so be it. Cruising in flight level 450, hopefully above any and all of that weather today, and we are not critical with any of our weights. Now, scrolling down to the fuel section, 8.4 is our minimum takeoff fuel, plus 150 taxi, so let's call it 8.5 and forget about those 6 freedom units that we don't have there. Now the question is, how much do we want to take extra? And I'd say, since our destination and alternate are both giving us thunderstorms here, we are going to take at least an hour on top, and an hour is basically 2,000 kilograms, or 2,000 freedom units, that way around. So adding those up, we end up at 10,000 freedom units of fuel, and I think that's a good figure to carry for today's flight. So let's go ahead and go into the EFB for a second here. Aircraft, flight performances, and mass and balance. Then let's go ahead and load ourselves up. We got 5 passengers, which I'm going to put in at 180 pounds each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we need a 5th over here as well. Like that, and obviously we will be flying with both a captain and a first officer, who should be in the weight and balance as well. So let's do it that way. Now moving on to our cargo, we are going to carry 200 pounds on each of those 2 holds, so that's going to be an overall 400 pounds. And for the fuel, we're looking at 10,000 pounds total, pretty much like that, 10,069. Looks good. Load aircraft, load immediately. And here we go. And with that, our first officer is now aboard as well. And a quick check in the back over there. Yep, our guests have arrived as well. And that door should still be open. Alright, so back into our aircraft, and then we can continue our setup. So we now have our passengers loaded. The next step in the checklist is to grab our IFR clearance. So let's go ahead and do that. So 118.55 is already tuned and active. So then, let's get the clearance. Perth delivery, Victor Hotel, Echo Lima Foxtrot, information Oscar, request IFR clearance to Mount Isa.
I'm working on that clearance. Stand by.
Roger. Okay, so clearance is in progress.
Cleared to Mount Isa via the Amana 5 departure, then as filed. Expect runway 24. Initial climb to 4,000. Departure on 123.6 squawk 4527.
Victor Lima Foxtrot is cleared to Mount Isa via the Amano 5 departure, climb altitude 4,000 feet, departure on 123.6 squawk 4527.
Victor Lima Foxtrot. Read back direct. Ground will be on 121.7.
121.7, Victor Lima Foxtrot. Okay, 4000 is in there, then 121.7 is coming active, and we got the transponder on 4527, departure 123.6 is pre-selected as a reminder. So that's ATIS and clearance copied. So, cockpit controls, check and set. So, up here, do we need some lights? Well, tell you what, I'm gonna turn them on nonetheless. Emergency lights on, seatbelts on, and passenger safety buttons on. Then over here everything is set, moving down. Down here everything is set, and in the middle everything is set as well. Temperature controls, let's put them onto norm, like that, and the rest is looking fantastic. Okay, good. So, cockpit controls are checked and set. Autopilot for the first flight of the day. Engage and disengage. Okay, trims all three. Are set for takeoff. Then, initialization complete. Okay, so let's go ahead and start down here. Utilities. And initialization, weight and fuel. 360 pounds for the crew seems correct. Payload, 5 passengers times 180 and 400 pounds of cargo. Takeoff fuel, we'll call it 10,000. And for the landing, quick look into the flight plan here. So, alternate fuel 1976. And 30 minutes holding time looking good. Next. And flight plan, let's go ahead and import that thing from SimBrief. So, SimBrief, refreshing lists, import. Here we go. Procedure, departure, runway 24, Amana 5 departure. And that is looking fantastic. Load. Now let's go ahead and cross-check this. So, that's gonna be charts, departure, Amana 5. Here we go. So, straight ahead to 1500, left turn to Afbat, then continue to Baumil above 8000. And then from there we are going to continue towards Amana. MSA up to 3000, and that is looking fantastic. Alright, with that our route is checked, and for the arrival we can already prepare the Arnav Zulu approach with the Charlie transition. Alright, load, and that's it. Okay, so far so good. Then that is accepted as well. For the takeoff data, Perth 24, weather 208, no cloud detected, 20 degrees 1007. That looks good. So low meta wind and temperature is 20 degrees. Okay, runway 7,000 feet available. Takeoff config, flaps 1, anti-ice off, factor 1.25, and rolling takeoff probably yes. And that gives us the following takeoff speeds, which are looking good, and accept. Okay, nice. So, with that our initialization is complete, so accept initialization. And that's the initialization complete. Takeoff speed set, pressurization and landing field elevation 1100 feet checked. Fuel quantity and balance are checked. And that's the cockpit preparation checklist completed. Okay, with all of that done, let's brief our passengers, then we are going to brief ourselves, and then we are ready to go. So we can close this. Good afternoon and welcome aboard. I'm Emmanuel, I am your captain on today's flight. We have just closed the doors and will be starting the engines in a matter of the next couple of minutes. We're expecting about 3 hours flight time today. Should be mostly smooth flight, perhaps some turbulences on the arrival due to a couple of rain showers that are currently moving through at Mount Isa. Overall, we are expecting a smooth flight though, so sit back, relax and enjoy the flight with us. And for the emergency briefing, we got 2 emergency exits on this Cessna. One is at the very back on the right hand side from your side, the other one is at the very front, the entry door that we came through. Since we are flying at high altitudes, in case a decompression occurs, please use the oxygen masks that are going to fall from the ceiling, pull them towards you, put them on, and most importantly, put your own mask on first before helping others. Finally, if you hear the brace command, please adopt the brace position in the safety card. And now I wish you a nice day on board our Cessna Citation. If there is anything we can do for you, then feel free to ask us as long as the fasten seatbelt signs and the passenger safety signs are turned off. Thank you very much and enjoy. Okay, so passengers are briefed, then we can do our own briefing here. It's going to be a left seat takeoff, runway 24, flaps 1, noise abatement procedure number 2, takeoff speeds. We just accepted them, didn't we? Let's see. Performance, takeoff data. So, takeoff speed 94, 105, 124, and flap retraction 185. Initial climb altitude 4000. We will probably get a very rapid rate of climb here, so a little bit careful that we don't bust the initial altitude. And just be aware the airplane can be rather cocky on its controls. Now that's it. MSA 3000 feet. Engine failure straight ahead to 3000 feet. Then we decide on the further course of action, and we are above the max landing weight. So overhead landing procedure if required. If we do need to make an immediate return, weather is superb, so we can just do a visual on the way back. Do you have questions or suggestions? No, I like that. Then let's go ahead and request our startup clearance with ground. Perth ground, Victor Hotel, Echo Lima Foxtrot, request startup.
Victor Lima Foxtrot, startup approved.
Startup approved, Victor Lima Foxtrot. Okay, still a cabin door open memo. Here we go, now it's closed and locked. Quite nice for a default aircraft, isn't it? Okay then, so before start checklist. Emergency and parking brake handle is set. Then wheel chocks removed, cabin door closed and curtain stowed, passenger briefing complete, cabin divider secured open, seats, seatbelt, shoulder harness and pedals are adjusted and fastened, seatbelt button is on and ICAS is checked before start checklist complete. Engine start using APU checklist. Okay, so throttles, idle, engine run stop button set to run, start pressure 32 psi are checked and engine start button push. Before we do that though, let's go ahead and turn on the anti-collision light and engine to start. Alright, good start on the right hand engine. Then let's repeat for the left hand engine. Run button on, 32 psi checked, left engine start. Okay, so engine instruments monitor, blah blah blah, and then opposite engine repeat, operate engine for at least 3 minutes. Let's do that. Timer 3 minutes, countdown and start. Okay, and EIS and CAS checked, and that's the starting engine checklist complete. Before taxi checklist, cockpit speakers as needed, flight controls. So for that we are gonna go to aircraft systems, synoptics and flight controls. Alright. Full up, full down, neutral. Full left, full right, neutral. Rudder, full left, full right and neutral. So speed brakes. Checked and retracted. Flaps set for takeoff. Config 1 is set. Flight instruments and avionics are checked. And attitude, heading and air data displays aligned, no flags. Altimeters QNH 1007 reading 60 is confirmed, and ice protection is not required off. Before taxi checklist complete. Victor Hotel Echo Lima Foxtrot, request taxi.
Victor Lima Foxtrot, runway 24 taxi via GA lane, link 3, 500 lane, hotel lane, whiskey lane, whiskey.
Taxi to runway 24 via the GA lane. Line 3, line 500, hotel lane, whiskey lane, and whiskey. Hotel, correction, Victor Hotel, Echo Lima Foxtrot. Oh yeah, how to make it complicated, huh? Alright, give me that airport and airport info chart. And then should be right up here. So GA lane, link 2, hotel, whiskey. That's it. Okay. Good. So we'll do the taxi checklist momentarily here. And that's it. So give me that full screen view. Okay. Clear on the left side. Clear on the right side. Taxi light on and brake off. So first of all, we gotta get out of here. Okay, this is the GA lane over here. Oh, interesting double lining. Okay, well, we're gonna remain on here. Okay, so it's a left turn over here now, onto link 2. And the brakes are checked. So this has to be the link. And then the hotel lane is the next one on the left here. So this one.
Velocity 9052, taxi to parking via Alpha. Alpha 6, hold short of runway 03, then Charlie 6, Charlie, link 5. Alpha 6, hold short of runway 03, then Charlie 6,
so that looks about
Charlie,
correct,
5,
and then from there we are going to turn right onto the whiskey lane towards the runways and hold short of runway 21. So the left side is clear and the right side is clear. And I tell you honestly, all these different lanes are super complex. I don't know why you don't just give normal taxiway names. I mean, it's difficult enough the way it is already, isn't it? Alright, so here we are. So from now on it's straight ahead, then give me that... well, not over here. Give me a half display. We'll switch over to the right, and here we go with the checklist. So, taxi checklist. Exterior lights are set. The emergency brake handle is stowed. Brakes checked. Nose wheel steering checked. And then we're approaching runway 21. So, thrust reverser check. We'll do that while standing. So, reverse please. Unlocked, deployed, and applied. Then we can stow them again. Victor Lima Foxtrot, request crossing runway 21. Okay, and that's the taxi checklist complete. Okay, clear to cross runway 12, Victor Lima Foxtrot. So the approach is clear. And the right side is clear. Okay, to review the takeoff briefing, left seat takeoff runway 24, flaps 1 north pavement procedure 2, climbing 4000, contact departure when advised by the tower, takeoff speeds 94, 105, 124, and we have no speed restriction, MSA 3000 feet. Any questions? No? Beautiful. So, before takeoff checklist. Flaps 1, speed brakes retracted, trims set for takeoff, anti-ice is not required off, takeoff speeds displayed, speed knob FMS, crew briefing complete, radar is off for the moment, and pedostatic or not in icing condition, so not required. Alright, holding there. Looks like there's one citation in front of us. And let's hold over here. Brake set.
Victor Lima
Lights
Foxtrot,
off.
contact tower on 127.4, bye-bye.
127.4, Victor Lima Foxtrot, bye-bye. So that thing, and then 1187 is our departure frequency. Okay. Perth Tower, Victor Hotel, Echo Lima Foxtrot, ready for departure.
Victor Hotel, Echo Lima Foxtrot, Perth Tower, runway 24, hold short, you're number 1 behind the A320.
Holding short, runway 24, Victor Hotel, Echo Lima Foxtrot. Now, that is not an A320, that much I can tell you. I may not be a master at business jets, so I may not be able to tell you very precisely, but I can tell you that that is not an A320. They're one on the runway, though. No. In that case, I got no clue what that guy's waiting for over there. Let's give it a minute or so, see what's gonna happen, and if he's not departing, then we'll just despawn him. Actually, there may be an A320. Yeah, that looks like one. So, make it good. Nope, he didn't make it good. Alright, cheerio. So, that's him. Then, hopefully he's gonna go, and the next arrival is like 7 miles out, so there should be plenty of opportunity to make something depart in between. Okay, then we just have to wait a little bit, so let's update our passengers on that. And we can reset that timer already, since the 3 minutes are over. So ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are standing at the runway, a little bit of traffic at the moment, couple arrivals, couple departures, so that we have to wait for those to clear before we can finally depart. Thank you for your understanding. It's going to be a couple minutes and we hope to be on our way soon. We are still expecting an on-time arrival. So that's done. Then there is that guy still approaching. Okay, departure charts, a mana 5. Here we go. Good, good. So all that stuff is set. Traffic is still on the runway. Huh. Taking his time. Okay, he's vacating now. The next one's already 4 miles out, so I suppose that means another arrival before the next departure. Oh, there, the next guys are waiting already at runway 21. Seems to be a busy day. Seems to be a pretty busy day. By the way, does anyone of you know what these things are here at the airport? Because that definitely does not look like an aviation installation. On the other hand side, there is no fence in between those and in between any of the movement areas of the airport. So I guess I'll better just not ask any questions there, but I'm pretty sure you can imagine what my questions might be. So, traffic is approaching, even though I don't see where. Or is he just overflying the airport? I mean, he is showing plus 6,000, but in that case, get that guy going. How long until the aircraft in front of us is departing?
Victor Lima Foxtrot, the aircraft in front is departing in approximately 2 minutes.
Okay. Alright, alright. Now let's see if ATC can keep their promises. And yep, looks like that plane that I thought was on final actually just overflew the airport. And the next one is coming right behind him as well, so I hope that that's not holding up any of the traffic here. I mean, it is a complicated airport with crossing runways and stuff, so I have no idea how AI is handling that. But I suppose we are going to find out. So the runway is clear. There's nobody taking off here either. Why don't you give him takeoff clearance? Two minutes should be over by now. I'll tell you what, there's nothing arriving and nothing departing, so Victor Lima Foxtrot ready for departure. Maybe we can trick the AI.
Victor Lima Foxtrot, runway 24, hold short, you're number 1 behind the Citation 700.
Maybe that resets something in the software to get him going? Huh, look at that. As if I had known. Okay. So park and brake is set. He's lining up. And he seems to be taking off. Alright, bye-bye. Alright, so what do we have here? Flight controls, ice protection, lights, CAS. Okay, easy. So, weather radar is coming on. And that's all set, thank you. Now I'm back to the checklist. Alright, and the citation is gone. Here we go, climbing out. So, then we should get clearance any moment now. Now, guys, tell me in the comments, do you like these kind of delays over here, where we are just watching things happening, or do you want me to take my traffic settings and put them down a little bit, so that things are going a little faster? In any case, it seems that everything is clear now. And we should get our departure clearance any moment.
Victor Lima Foxtrot, hold short of runway 24, 737, 4 mile final.
I mean that
Victor Lima Foxtrot, no delay. 737 on a 5 mile final, runway 24, winds 200 at 8, cleared for takeoff.
No delay, runway 24, cleared for takeoff, Victor Lima Foxtrot. Okay, cabin, prepare for departure. So, cleared for takeoff checklist. Flight controls. Are checked, ice protection set, exterior lights on, EIS and CAS are checked, and that's the B4 takeoff checklist complete. Okay, ready? Timing. And takeoff. Would you give me toga mode, please? Thank you. V1. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Gear up. Okay, select nav. Select level change.
Victor Lima Foxtrot, contact departure.
Over to departure, Victor Lima Foxtrot. Flaps up. Why is that showing 18.0?
Victor Lima Foxtrot, contact departure on 123.6.
1036, Victor Lima Foxtrot. Departure low, Victor Hotel, Echo Lima Foxtrot, passing 3000, climbing 4000. Okay, alt capture.
Victor Hotel, Echo Lima, Foxtrot, Perth departure, radar contact, climb flight level 100.
Climbing flight level 100, Victor Hotel, Echo Lima Foxtrot. Set. 100 checked, and level change. Okay. Just look at that raw power over here. 5,000 feet a minute rate of climb. That's quite fantastic, isn't it?
Victor Lima Foxtrot, climb flight level 230.
Climbing flight level 230, Victor Lima Foxtrot. Set. 230 tracked. A little sensitive on the pitch axis, I must admit. That may be an airplane where you might consider using a little we might consider using a little sensitivity setting here. I mean, it is possible to fly, but look at how incredibly sensitive it is.
Victor Lima Foxtrot, contact Melbourne Center on 133.6.
133.6, Victor Lima Foxtrot. Melbourne Center, Victor Papa Echo Lima Foxtrot, passing level 97, climbing 230.
Victor Hotel, Echo Lima Foxtrot, Melbourne Center, identified. Audi Perth QNH 1007.
1007, Victor Hotel Echo Lima Foxtrot. Alright, passing 11, set standard. 1, 2, 3. So 270 knots, and continue that climb. So now the next question, why is the autopilot not coming on? Let's see, flight director's off and on again, nav, level change, AP. No? Which switch is it? There must be something in the electrical system, no? What if you close the bus tie? Is that gonna make a difference? No? Interesting. It did work.
Climb flight level 330.
Climb flight level 330, Victor Hotel Echo Lima Foxtrot. It did work on the ground test, so why isn't it working now? Aha! Pressing that master disconnect a second time helped. I suppose I'm not going to question why, because it doesn't seem to make too much sense to me, but there are things that you just don't question, huh? Alright, then we're done with that stuff. So, your half-screen view over there, then we can do the after takeoff checklist. So that's landing gear up, flaps up, throttle climb, ice protection off, pressurization checked, seatbelts, yeah, we can release them now. Are off, altimeter standard, exterior lights. All off, and APU off. And that's the after takeoff climb checklist complete. Well then, give me the nav map over here. You can go full screen. And full range. And then we are, well, are we going to do something different over here? I mean, we have a couple NDs available this way, but hey, why not? So yeah, one last thing for us to do is to go into the VNAV menu here, because by default it wants to cruise fairly quickly, but 0.82 is in here already. Wonderful. Okay, cool. Then there isn't much more to do.
Climb flight level 400.
Climbing flight level 400, Victor Lima Foxtrot. Set, 400 checked. Okay, so for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us, and then I see you all when we start the approach into Mount Isa. Brisbane approach, Victor Hotel Echo Lima Foxtrot, passing 137, descending 70.
Brisbane approach, Victor Hotel Echo Lima.
Victor Hotel, Echo Lima Foxtrot, Brisbane approach, descend 7000.
Descending 7000, Victor Hotel Echo Lima Foxtrot. Alright, my friends,
7,000.
no, the first officer should be off. Alright, and with that we are already down to 7000 for the on-off approach runway 34 in Mount Isa. Now, the approach is going to be a rather interesting one because the airport itself is uncontrolled. You can see...
Turn right, heading 070 vectors for the RNAV runway 34 approach.
Right, heading 070, vectors on-off 34, Victor Hotel Echo Lima Foxtrot. Okay, so you can see we are... not getting radar vectors, but probably a direct soon, since they don't have radar coverage at the very low altitudes over here. Let's go ahead and have a look into some data for our approach. We are going to start with our landing data, and the current META gives us 03086 and 10 kilometers, light showers of rain, overcast 625 over 25, and a QNH of 1006, which is set once, set twice, and up here, let's calculate 1006, that's 18 inches less, so we're ending up at 2974. Alright, so that's all set. The approach is eventually going to be an on-off approach via Mike Alpha 2 Sierra India in 3300, and that's also the MSA, and then we got 3-degree descent and get down to a minimum of 1590. The go around is straight ahead to waypoint 2 Sierra Hotel, left turn back to the 2 Sierra Charlie Point, climbing 3000.
Victor Lima Foxtrot. Proceed direct, Mike Alpha 2, Sierra India. Send altitude 3300 feet until established. Cleared for the RNAV runway 34 approach.
Right, Mike Alpha 2 Sierra India, descend 3300 until established. Cleared RNAV 34, Victor Hotel Echo Lima Foxtrot. Alright, here we go, and VNAV is active again. Give me 1300 to intercept that path.
Correct. Descend 3300 until established.
3300 until established, Victor Lima Foxtrot. Okay, for now we can keep the speed up at 250, we'll reduce a little bit later. Okay, so that's pretty much the descent discussed. Then let's go ahead and turn on some lights over here and do the descent checklist, please. So disregard that cruise thing, and descent checklist. Pressurization, landing altitude 1100, APU knob start. Then altimeters, QNH 1006 is cross-checked, and exterior lights are on, descent checklist complete. Standing by for the approach checklist for now. Okay, here we go. So that's quite a good setup for the time being. Now the weather, well, looks a little questionable, especially when we look over to the airport over there. We might just see the runway rather late. The minimum is 480 AGL, the cloud base is in 600, so that is going to be a tough one. Especially if there are showers right over the airport. But right now it actually looks okay. There is some yellow on the final, but the airport itself seems green, so there is a little bit of hope that this is actually going to work. Okay. So that much for our general setup. I think that is overall looking quite okay. Alrighty, so briefings are completed, checklist is completed, passengers are seated and secured, so everything is looking fantastic. It's been a little bit of a rough ride at the end. There was quite a bit more turbulence than I originally anticipated. But yeah, can't really do much about that, can we? Okay, so that range should pretty much be good down there. And well, so about to turn final. How many miles? 7. Yeah, let's start slowing down here. FMS speed, and that's going down towards 210. So let's see if it slows down. If not, we always have the speed brake available to us, which is a super effective tool on the Citation Longitude. So a little bit of weather, unfortunately. Otherwise the terrain would be really spectacular into Mount Isa, which is one of the reasons why I like flying into that airport so much. Now we've just got to hope that this weather cell over there is not over the airport. But I think we'll be turning left here momentarily, well, roughly into that direction, so I think that's to the north. I hope that's to the north. Otherwise things may get sporty. Okay, turning now should hopefully be fine. Okay, 237 knots. Let's help it a bit with the deceleration.
Victor Lima Foxtrot, radar services terminated. Mount Isa Airport at your 12 o'clock, 12 miles. Change to advisory frequency approved. Squawk VFR. Report cancellation of IFR or missed approach to this frequency.
Change to advisory is approved. Squawk VFR, and we call you Victor Lima Foxtrot. Okay, note that even though we are squawking VFR, we are still flying an IFR procedure here, otherwise we would not be legal to fly this approach at all in these weather conditions. Flaps 1. Speed checked. So, FMS nav is on, waiting for glide path capture. But we are right on the path, so this should be good.
Mount Isa Airport at your 1 o'clock, 10 miles.
Yeah, you said that.
Frequency approved. Report cancellation of IFR or missed approach to this frequency.
126.5 Delta Lima Foxtrot, see ya. Mount Isa traffic, Victor Hotel Echo Lima Foxtrot, over at Mike Alpha 2 Sierra India for the RNF approach runway 34 in Mount Isa. Victor Lima Foxtrot, established 10 miles final, runway 34 at Mount Isa. Okay, so far so good. Flaps 2. And gear down. Why did it go into alt capture and not VNAV path? Or rather glide path? Well, let's capture that path from above, please. Here we go, glide path capture. Okay, 3,300 feet set. Yeah, please correct for it. Here we go, that's looking good. Correcting back onto the path, flaps full. Landing checklist. So, landing data set, speed set, landing distance calculated, ice protection off, flight instruments and avionics set, FMS set, minimum set, altimeter 1006, crew briefing complete, passenger briefing complete, cabin divider open, cabin door stowed, seat belts, shoulder harness adjusted and fastened, seatbelt buttons on, and flaps are down. Approach check is complete, before landing checklist, landing gear, down 3 green, flaps full, exterior lights on, speed brake retracted, EIS and CAS checked, and autopilot speed will be done, and that's it. Okay, so the airport is actually in the green right now. Let's see how that's actually going to turn out. Speed down to 125. With that kind of weather, I don't want to go too slow here. And then we just have to see how this is going to turn out. I can see a bit of the terrain ahead of us already. Let's hope that we'll be able to see a little bit more soon. But definitely not the type of weather that I would love to fly in. But hey, that's what you get for being a commercial. Okay, speed is rather... was about to say is rather stable. Okay, runway is in sight. So, autopilot off, auto throttle off. Approaching minimum. Okay, minimum, and the runway is at the 12 o'clock. Barely visible, but it's there. Yep, it is turbulent here. Actually need to do a little bit of work. Yep, that was a short touchdown zone. Okay, reverses. Deployed. 70 knots. And reverser stowed. Victor Hotel Echo Lima Foxtrot performing a 180 on the runway and taxiing to the general aviation parking. Okay, man, that's what I call a lovely approach. So, that taxiway is too small for us, Delta and Alpha. We gotta go directly to the terminal. So, yeah, here is where we communicate. The landing was a little bit on the firm side, but very small touchdown zone, so that was actually no option but to just throw it down there. Right, pulse lights, record lights, they can all go off. Then let's just stop the airplane here for a second and do the after landing checklist. So, landing is completed, go around is not needed. After landing, thrust reversers are stowed, flaps are going up, ice protection is off, and exterior lights are set. After landing checklist complete. Okay, so we will be parking right up here on the light aircraft apron, Golf 2 or Golf 3, either one of those two. Let's see if we got any GSX over here. South parking, Golf 3, ramp GA medium, that sounds good. Handling by Swissport. So, lovely small little airport. There's also lovely terrain over here, even though we don't really see much of it, but I can tell you that there is. So I'm sure that we are going to come back in some little bit better weather conditions. Total flight time, 3 hours and 18. And here's Golf 3, taxi light off. So, it looks like we got a little dirty here. Okay, and stop. Thank you. So, parking brake set, shutdown checklist please. So, throttles idle, and we had 3 minutes. Emergency and parking brake handle is set, ice protection off, engine start stop switches both stop. So, right engine stopping and left engine stopping. Okay, seatbelts button off. Then emergency light switch off. Off, standby power switch off. Off, APU knob off. Off, exterior lights all off and batteries off, and that's gonna be it. So, the lights are off. And the batteries are off. And with that, welcome to Mount Isa. Let's use our time while we have it to escape that airplane before it starts raining here again, because that rain definitely seemed rather strong. And with that, guys, welcome to Mount Isa. I do hope you all enjoyed the flight as much as I did, and man, that airplane got dirty on today's flight. Alright, that's something I see for the first time, but you know, with that rain moving through, and look at that, it's starting to rain already again. With that rain moving through, I'm not surprised at all. So let's go ahead, close that airplane up again, And with all of that out of the way, thank you very much for watching. As always, like, comment and subscribe. Let me know how you liked today's flight, and I'm really looking forward to see you all again on the next one. If you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. And at this point, I would also like to thank Orbex for providing the two airports, Perth and Mount Isa, for today's flight. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and then I'm really looking forward to see you all again on the next one.